between Main and Pearl. And the lot, we've had 15 downtown, all the people from downtown that came to talk to council about trying to rush to get the municipal lot change. We've sold 15 of the 44 spots thus far. They've been coming in doing applications with us. That's all I have.
Thank you, Chief Hinch. Any questions for Chief Hinch? Mayor Evans?
McKee Paving will be back in town Wednesday. Be paving in the uptown area, trying to finish that area up this week. Part of Broad Street, part of Walnut Street, part of Locust Street, parts that have already been milled. And then they'll be, next week they'll be moving down to the Jackson Heights area while the festival is going on. Yes, that's next week, Chief. But while that's going on uptown, they'll be paving down to Anderson, Florence, and Lewis, that part of our paving project. Later this week, we are set to receive proposals for and bids for the demolition of the Memorial Building. We meet with the architect and the engineer every week on that project, so it's moving forward. We're anxious to see, not real good indication of how we think those bids will come in, so excited about getting them and see where we go from there. I had mentioned here before, and you might have heard about it, we are taking some separate quotes on removal and salvage of some of the limestone on that building to try to incorporate it into the new building. We'll see how the costs come down with that to see whether that's an affordable thing or not. If we can afford to do it, we'd really like to do it. And once again, just want to remind everyone that beginning next weekend, they will be setting up for the festival uptown, and it starts a week from tomorrow. The grand opening next Tuesday at 3:30. That's all I have tonight.
Questions for the mayor? Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Swackhammer?
Yes, in your packet tonight, you do have an ordinance and resolution that is associated. One is for the Hammertown. We're in the process of cleaning up some of the old horse trails right now, and we're finding some very good hardwoods out there that are down. We'd like to stage those, as well as, if you'll remember, we got a $300,000 grant associated with the Ohio Horsemen's Association to actually make improvements out there, which we know we'll have to take some trees down as part of that. We'd like the opportunity to sell those to the highest bid, so you'll have that one in there. Also, with the demolition of the Memorial Building, we would like to have scheduled on the 23rd of this month, and I have mentioned it before, a auction, walk-through auction, so you have the resolution tonight to allow us to do so, because we do believe there will be some items that will meet the threshold of the $1,000 or more. Also, I'd like to offer to council that by the end of this week, we expect to be totally out of the Memorial Building and over into the new location at 200 Broadway. So if you're interested in seeing what is in there, there is still some items in there. It's just items that would not be used again in a new location. So that's all I have at the present time.
Questions for the service director?
Two questions. Pearl Street's obviously not getting paved before the Apple Festival.
We couldn't get the valve that we needed for that water line that broke down there. We can't get it until the week after the Apple Festival.
And then in the Board of Control minutes from the 4th, there's $13,216.25 for road repairs at Robin Hill. Tell us what that is.
The loop, wasn't it?
It says Roy Lundy for street and alley roadway repairs,
Okay.
Robin Hill, $13,000.
Okay, because we used Monday for both Robin Hill repair and for the loop road backside of Hammertown.
What was it? Is it something that we couldn't have done?
Yeah, they were full depth repairs, just like normally a paving contractor would do. If you, the loop road has a chip and seal on it, it doesn't have an asphalt, or will have a chip and seal on it. So it was also ditching work as well as full depth repairs. Neither one of those had really any road base under them. They were built off of old paths.
Thanks.
Other questions for the mayor? Hearing none, we'll move into our section of ordinances and resolutions, beginning with ordinance 42, 2025. Ms. Coon?
An ordinance approving additional appropriations in the street CM and R fund and declaring an emergency.
Could I have a motion to adopt ordinance 42, 2025 as presented to council? Ms. Colby, second by Mr. Elliott. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The motion is carried. Discussion. Mr. Reed.
Okay, this is funds for street and alley. That's where most of the summer help was put and billed out of. And also, when the funds were put together, there's a little bit of a combination, but not all the way of the garbage in the street and alley. So the way the salaries worked out this year, the salaries wages were down, and we didn't do a transfer because we didn't know exactly how it was going to be set up this year. So these are just additional funds that are needed for, they're being run through street and alley, but they're paying for most of the summer help that's working, other than like the cemetery that's specific. And if Mr. Swackhammer wants to add anything to that are just additional.
Yeah, we only have 2 individuals that are actually full-time garbage personnel. The rest, we fill the other 2 spots out of street and alley as our flex. So therefore, 50% of our staffing for garbage comes out of the street and alley, so we have to put money back in there. Plus, this summer, we had a lot of rain, we had a lot more mowing, we ended up hiring some extra summer help too for almost 6 weeks.
Other questions? Mr. Peters.
Before everyone jumps to pass this under emergency, just remember a couple of things. We now allow the street and alley employees to be paid in transit to be firefighters. We're allowing them to do that. There's probably some increase to that. I bet someone's going to deflect and say, no. We're putting more money into has enough free time to do other department duties. The other issue with that is that same department, Saturday morning, working on a Saturday morning. So they're probably getting 4 hours of overtime. Yeah, cutting concrete. I show you a picture of it if you'd like to see it on a Saturday morning right up here on Pearl Street. So if we have all this time, we shouldn't be doing that on a Saturday in an overtime status. That's a management issue, and I think everyone knows where I stand on that, but I just want to remind everyone, I'm not gonna block people getting paid, but I just want you to think about, what's enough? We're gonna keep coming back and asking for more money. We're gonna keep coming back and, that's all I've got. Thanks.
Other comments? Mayor?
I don't know which work you're exactly talking about, but I know there was some work done over on Broadway on Saturday because it was cutting into a water line. It affected Licio, and they were on a shutdown. That's why it was done then.
Well, they were cutting concrete. They were cutting the relief and the concrete on Saturday, right across from the utility office. Saturday morning.
Okay, that could have been, I don't know exactly, but that.
Yeah, there was a supervisor there too, 3 people. So
It very likely could have been cutting control joints and concrete.
yeah, right. On a Saturday at 4 hours call out is not good management. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. That's my opinion.
But if that is what was happening, it's because it couldn't wait till Monday.
Right. But other things can wait. That's what you're making my point. You're making my point. Other things can wait, but some things can't wait. But we don't know what those things are.
I'm just saying,
It's
if
very
you
ambiguous.
pour concrete on a Friday, you can't wait till Monday to salt cut it.
Well, we could have maybe poured concrete on a Tuesday, but we were too busy doing lift assistance on fire call.
Let's move. Let's move.
Let's move forward.
Let's move forward. We're not getting nowhere. So, further comments? Is there any other action to be taken on ordinance 4225 as presented to council?
I'll move to suspend the rules to pay people for doing their work.
Thank you, Mr. Peters. Is there a second? Mr. Newkirk, seconds. Discussion. Ms. Coon?
Elliott.
Yes.
Colby. Yes. Peters.
Yes.
Newkirk. Young. Bott.
Further discussion. Ms. Coon?
Elliott.
Yes.
Colby. Peters.
Yes.
Newkirk. Young. Bott.
Ordinance 42-2025 is duly adopted. Next for council consideration, ordinance 43-2025. Ms. Coon?
An ordinance authorizing the Service and Safety Director to advertise for sale and to sell to the highest and best bidder the equipment and personal property now owned by the city and previously used in the Memorial Building and declaring an emergency.
Could I have a motion to adopt ordinance 43-2025?
Move to adopt.
Mr. Elliott, adopt. Marvin, I'm sorry, Ms. Colby? Second. Discussion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. The motion is carried. Discussion, Mr. Swackhammer.
Yes, I spoke about it last council meeting, and just briefly, this is the opportunity to sell that stuff in the Memorial Building.
What is it? What's that?
There's some shelves, there's the old basketball scoreboard, there is, we've had people saying, how about the outside units that are there? Are they, can we buy them? Can we buy doors? Can we buy, so,
Everything must go.
yeah, it's a fire sale.
Well, I mean, to be honest, we just don't want to tear it down and leave anything that somebody may have wanted, even if it's $2 they get, you know what I mean? We want to give a chance. If it's in there, anybody can get any use out of it. We don't want that to happen.
What was the day of the auction?
23rd, it's a Tuesday. It's the Tuesday after the Apple Festival.
And you said this, but can the public go look at anything beforehand, or?
No, because there's stuff going on, and so anybody, there'll be opportunities that evening, but it's a walk-through auction, so it'll be going from room to room, and anything that's purchased will have to be out by Thursday evening,
Is there a time set on it that day?
5 o'clock for the auction.
5 o'clock on the 23rd? Yep.
Further discussion.
I'll move to suspend the rules.
Motion by Mr. Peters, second. Mr. Bob? Discussion. Ms. Coon?
Elliott.
Yes.
Colby. Peters.
Yes.
Newkirk. Young. Bott.
Further discussion. Ms. Coon?
Elliott.
Yes.
Colby. Peters.
Yes.
Newkirk. Young. Bott.
Ordinance 43-2025 is duly adopted. We are going to skip ordinance 44-2025. This was part of what the public meeting was about, and I think we're going to probably have another, so we'll go to ordinance 45-2025. Ms. Coon?
An ordinance authorizing the Service and Safety Director to advertise for sale and to sell to the highest and best bidder timber from the Hammertown Lake area that is not needed for a municipal purpose under RC Section 721.15 and declaring an emergency.
Can I have a motion to adopt ordinance 45-2025 as presented, Ms. Young? Second by Mr. Peters. Discussion? Oh, I'm sorry. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried. Discussion. Mr. Swackhammer?
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, this is actually from a couple projects. One's the current one the city's doing, just in cleaning up the trails for its current use, and that's when the discovery was made. But we do have the one coming up with the Ohio Horse Council. They'll actually be widening the trails as well as doing a little maintenance around them. So I want to be able to have something in place that allows me for both projects to save the wood, offer it to the highest bidder.
Mr. Elliott?
I just want to speak for my forebears. It's always been reminded, previous councils are always reminded that the Hammertown project is not a recreation project. It is our reservoir. And it was constructed, not that I'm against that, I'm just echoing what was said in the past, and it always was said, remember this in the future, remember this. It was set up with so many pine trees, so many hardwoods, so much area that would be nothing. And it was all designed that way. And so I think someone needs to look that up and make sure we're honoring that, because there was a reason for it. It was to protect the viability of the reservoir, of our drinking water. So I just want to get that in there because it's always been reminded in the past that don't give up on this. If you do, you may regret it, and you'll have a mess.
Mr. Swick? Mr. Swickhammer?
This area has been heavily timbered about 20 years ago out there, and it's a lot of young growth back. It's now, like I said, 20 years old, but there's also a lot of just dead wood that you need to start pulling it out at some point in time, or you're going to end up with a lot of dead wood. And if you don't pull it out, it's going to start to decay, and then it's going to have no value at all. We've also talked to the EPA, we've had them down, and the amount of buffer that we have around the lake, not including, areas where ball fields were proposed in the past and that didn't happen, is much greater than is required to keep runoff issues into Hammertown Lake. The one gentleman that was down, Tracy and I was out there with, he says you're probably getting more from the wildlife in that lake than you ever would from recreational use around that lake. That was his statement.
Comments?
I just have a couple of questions. When this came up last, not under your administration, it was brought up about the harvesting. There's a fund for that, and that's my second question. But let's start with, it was brought up at that time when it was cut before that it wasn't responsibly replanted. So my concern is if we're going to go out there and remove it this time, it's 25 years later now, we need to have some sort of management system for what we're replanting there. That way, every 25 years, we're doing the right thing, but we're also planting something in its place, not just letting nature, weeds and whatever, and then invasive things kick in. But
What we're doing with this request isn't just basically going out there and doing a strip cut like they did before. We're just doing improvements around the horse trails, that's all.
And then one other question. There was a tree harvest fund that was used for recreation. Are these funds going into that?
They will go into that and be used around parks and recreation.
That's all I have.
Actually, we talked about whether or not we'd actually give it to the tree commission, because that's really part of what they're supposed to be doing, tree planting new trees and throughout the city and the parks.
Other comments? Discussion? Mr. Reed?
On where you're saying you're taking trees, are you actually cutting many trees, or most of the trees you're you said are
The
down?
ones that are out there right now where we're cleaning off is down trees.
That's what I thought.
But there
you said.
will be some widening of path where trees will be harvested in this $300,000 project that we got the grant from the Ohio Horse Council
But it's
from.
not really a timbering project, it's just
No.
widening the trails and you're taking the trees that are down.
Correct, and we just didn't want to, our normal process would be taking them to a local lot that we pay a fee monthly for just to get rid of our brush, and we know they're going to take value out of them, so why not have the city go ahead and, take bids for them and the city get the value out of them.
Other discussion? Any further action to be taken on ordinance 45-2025 as presented to council? Hearing none, this constitutes the first reading of ordinance 45-2025. This concludes the ordinance and resolution section of of our meeting this evening. I wish to thank council for their work. We'll go into correspondence. Each of you probably should have received a letter from the Jackson County Board of Elections. So I'll bring that to your plate for those of you who are running, to make note of that and any filings that need to be made here this evening. Under old business, there's a couple things. One I have written is Mr. Wolf was here last meeting discussing a piece of property, and Mr. Schweikhammer, was there a resolution or what was brought forward from that?
Yes. So I talked to the mayor, and then we've worked with Mr. Waltz to see, we believe we have something here we can actually take to the Zoning Board of Appeals as a variant for his piece of property. He is fine with, originally he wanted it de-annexed, okay? He is fine leaving it inside the city. He'd like a variance, or at least that's what I'm recommending, to allow for the accessory structure without the primary, with a couple caveats. One, the accessory structure has to meet all the setback requirements, and two, it has to leave enough space for a primary structure. Say he sells it, somebody's got to, have room to put a primary structure to go with the accessory structure, so that it doesn't always just have to be a residential parcel with only an accessory structure on it. He finds that acceptable. If that's something that, is worth considering, then Jeff, this would be turned over then to the Zoning Board of Appeals for next meeting.
I think that's a way better solution than the de-annexing of the property, because there's other properties out there that are in the city, and that's kind of a slippery slope if we allow one parcel and then they start to all want to jump off, and we kind of set precedent by allowing them to do that. After talking to him afterwards, he was just looking for something fair. It sounds like it's fair. I'm on the Board of Appeals, and I would entertain it.
Yeah, I actually have a letter from him that actually states, that says, "That works perfectly for me. Please find attached the information I gave Cindy. Thank you for your help in this matter."
Do we have enough time if we were to schedule something for the 22nd?
I don't think so. I don't think there'll be time unless we have it earlier than 6.
5:30 maybe.
No, I'm not talking, I'm talking about date,
Yeah,
a date,
Oh.
in regards to.
Yeah, we always
I mean,
You mean like at the meeting after the next one?
What do we have at the next?
probably another planning commission
The
meeting.
BOZA right before it, because it's only going to take 15 minutes. Just like
Do you want to try and do the BOZA at 6 o'clock and then schedule
Let's
the,
do 5:45 and then 6 o'clock for the,
That's
Yeah,
fine.
this one should be a
Yeah.
5-minute meeting.
Right. that's what I'm
okay,
saying.
so 5:45, Mr. Elliott?
Sure, that's
Okay.
fine.
For the BOZA?
Cindy, I'm going to give you the start packet.
for the, just, I don't know where we're going to talk about the planning commission under new old business.
Probably talk about, I have
I just have some comments.
coming at, in new business. So at this point, we'll just say the BOZA meeting will be at 5:45, and then that is the 22nd, Monday, the 22nd. Any other comments about this from Mr. Wolf? Well, the chair would like to bring up and discuss the home on 153 Portsmouth Street and 80 Broadway Street. That was discussed at our meeting last week. It is my understanding that there is a letter that is going to the attorney, their attorneys, that is basically taking the position that this administration is against that. And I'm 100% with that.
So the letter is, there's no statement that you as private companies can't own certain property or anything like that. It appears on the information that we have it's not properly zoned in that area. It would be a use that appears to be better suited for commercial, general commercial, use. And the letter basically states that.
There's 3 points, the foundation for this letter, am I correct?
Well, there's a number of issues and their stated purpose of incorporation. Is that fair, Mr. Swackman?
Yep, that's accurate.
Any other comments, questions in regards to this topic? Council? Yes.
So nothing's stopping them from moving forward as a landlord in the meantime? Do we have any footing or any enforcement city side?
I'm not sure if I know what you're asking.
So you're sending a letter to their attorney saying that they may be in violation of zoning. So without some sort of court intervention between now and then, what stops them tomorrow from starting their move-in process?
If they do, then it would appear that they're doing it in an area that we think is improperly zoned, which would probably take court action.
Okay, that's,
Yeah.
you answered it, thank you.
Other comments? Mr. Bob?
Have these people from Portsmouth even addressed anybody in the city of Jackson as to wanting to put this house, what they want to do to it? I mean, they didn't even take the initiative to come to city council. They go to Wellston. Why not Jackson?
They have said that they would come here. They did, I believe, in a letter prior to their attorneys getting involved. They're available to answer questions, may be able to contact me.
Mayor?
I just want to add that the administration's point of view is that what we think they're going to do there, whether it's exactly matches what they say they're going to do there or not, but either way, we don't think that zone allows that. That's our position.
Other comments?
As Mr. Kirby mentioned, they have offered to come and talk to council, if that's something council wishes.
I'll offer an invitation if council is asking them to come.
I feel like at this point it's moved. I feel like, well, Mr. Bob said they should have started there instead of ended here, so we'll just let it play out to see what options we have as a city.
Other comments? Hearing none, we'll move into new business. First part of new business I have written is Mr. Swackhammer, discussion in regards to the garbage non-compete.
Oh, yes. So with the city going to the 95 and the 35-gallon cans, I noticed that Rumpke has actually got some 95-gallon cans around too at commercial entities. The city now has the 95-gallon cans. We also have 3 and 6 yard containers. I would like for council to consider a non-compete for our franchises starting in 2026, let's say to be a phase, so that in 2027 there are no competes. So anyone that's, we should be taking or getting the revenue for the 95-gallon containers, whether it's commercial, residential, or so forth. Also, we have our own 3 and 6 yard containers that our garbage trucks handle. We shouldn't, in my opinion, allow private entities to come in and take the revenue off of what the city has a department to do. And I'd just like council to consider that.
Mr. President, I agree with that halfway. The other part is the larger containers, citizens don't have any other option.
Correct. They're like the roll-offs.
Yeah, so does that cause issues for those types of situations? I mean.
No, because that's not a compete. We don't offer those, we don't have the
So they would
equipment to
still be
handle those.
obligated to pay the franchise fees and stuff if they want to offer the service. What if they say no, then that's my point. What if they're like, you know what, Jackson, just, we're not.
Well, I've got-
We'll take it elsewhere.
I've got 3 right now, and at least 1 others that would have liked to have gotten a franchise. So we actually have our limit on franchises already.
I thought we re-looked at that a few years back and we had some competition and then
No.
what happened?
No, they came in, usually you have the one big player that pays for the full year, the maximum amount, and then the others, we set it up based upon yardage that they will have to report to us. And so we had a couple small players at lower numbers, and and I still have a 4th one that would have liked to have gotten a franchise that couldn't, because we have 3's the max we allow.
Can we fix that all in one?
You can, we mean make more than...
Bring all that to council so we can increase the maximum?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to open up the number of, to make it...
No one wants to pay $1,000 for a roll-off dumpster to clean out their garage.
Yeah.
So more competition lowers the price pretty quick. So I feel like that helps the public.
Oh, it would.
I don't really care about Rumpke.
Yeah.
Doesn't do anything for me.
No, I'm fine with marking something up for you guys to take a look at. Like
I
said,
think we should wait. We should get it in place for January 1, so.
Well, the only reason I say that is if we have a lot of requests all at once for 3 and 6 yard containers, it'll take us a while to get some more 3 and 6 yard
sure.
containers. So it may be a transition period in 2026 if that's the route we go. I just want enough time to notify all of our current franchise holders that beginning in 2026, there's a non-compete in these areas.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Any other comments in regards to,
Can I ask a quick question?
yes, sir?
This is to Mr. Schweikhammer, as far as clarity on that stuff. So if a contractor is going to remodel a bathroom and the city doesn't take construction materials,
Right.
but they don't need a 20-yard dumpster, what is that contractor in your situation, what is he supposed to do?
I say that's a non-compete. They could bring in a 3 or 6 yard from Rumpke
Okay.
to take contractor material, because the city very clearly says we don't take contractor
So if the
material.
city's not taking a contractor,
Unless that's something the city wants to revisit in its ordinance.
just want to make sure everybody's got an eye.
Yeah, no, fair question.
Thoughts? This is things that then possibly could be considered when you come back to discuss whether those would become options to the citizens. The other thing that I have written for new business is basically the public hearing that was held earlier. I think the consensus was that we would hold another public hearing on the 22nd. Is that correct?
May I? Like, personally, I would like to see like something, like some sort of rendering or something. That's kind of where I kind of fell short with moving forward with it. There were a lot of questions asked, and there wasn't really a real plan. It probably wouldn't take a construction firm a lot of time and manpower to draw up something on a map so we could at least see what their intention is. I feel like even just renderings of, hey, this is what the buildings are gonna look like. Hey, this is what the buffer zones for the landscaping is gonna look like. Hey, in the case that we need a retention pond, this, it's just hypothetical, but it's a visual for the public to not be so scared of what we're about to agree to. So I don't have Scott's phone number, but I'll gladly call him just as a concerned citizen and say, hey, bring that back. That's probably something I could get behind. But just we're just in a planning station, but we're asking the council to change the zoning for something that we don't really have any I mean, look at Starbucks. I mean, the guy had drawings and all these things. And that wasn't a slam dunk either. We could have said no to what they presented to us, but I just feel like as a member of that board, we just need a visual or some sort of just preliminary plans of what, hey, this is what it could look like, or this is what we had envisioned, and present that, at least give us something to stand on.
Mayor, can I ask you a question in regards to this?
Yeah.
Since, with your experience as a builder, projects, what kind of lead time does it take to get those kind of visuals? I mean, can you get those in 2 weeks, or is that, I mean, what has been your experience? I mean, I'm just thinking, if we want this, would like to see this, do we go a month out rather than 2 weeks out? Are we asking that question?
We'll ask Scott that. We'll ask him
Okay.
to prepare some of that documentation and come better prepared to address the concerns that that we all heard tonight. And we'll ask him if he can do that. We'll schedule a meeting for 2 weeks, if you like. And then if he can't have it by then, we'll move it back to 4 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, just, like
I
some
just
sort
don't-
of like storyboard here, like, hey, this is what the materials are gonna look like, this is what the buildings are gonna look like.
Yeah.
It's just really hard to say, yeah, I agree with you, and there was really nothing. There's a blank map, still blank map in
I'm sure they'll try to
in the
do
ordinance
that.
as well.
I just didn't, I just didn't have an idea of how.
I think Geiger Brothers can.
Okay.
They got
Okay.
quite a bit of staff.
Okay.
But if they
I
need
mean,
more
I'm not
time.
asking for like something you're submitting to the state of
Right,
Ohio, just a
right.
drawing,
Yep.
It can even be in stick figures and pencils and stuff.
We'll ask them to address-
Squares on a map.
We'll ask them to come better prepared to address any and all the concerns they heard about tonight.
Okay, that'd be great. So preliminarily, that word, 6 o'clock
On the
on
22nd.
the 22nd, we'll hold a public hearing here again.
President, the only issue with that is we do have the FOSA meeting at 5:45. There might be a huge wait between, I don't mind that, but just so everybody else here, there may not be a meeting at 6.
Well, hopefully that should be fairly quick, I would think, at the Bozeman.
Those will take 5 minutes if less.
He's saying if we don't have.
Right, well, we don't have
We
the
come in at
planning.
5:45 and then don't
Yeah,
have a
we'll be
public
waiting,
hearing.
There'll be an hour wait, but someone could bring like.
If we postpone that, we could also delay the FOSA meeting to 6:45.
That's going to go out in the mail tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay.
I said the BOZA stuff will go out in the mail tomorrow. I just texted Scott. We'll see what he says.
Other new business to be brought before council? Hearing none, that the chair would accept the motion to adjourn. Ms. Young, second by Mr. Peters. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. The motion is carried. We stand in adjournment.